Hi, my name's Rhoda Dakar, and you're listening to the Stateside Madness podcast.
Hi there, folks out there. I'd like you to meet Tommy McGuire and his combo.
Hello, and welcome to the Stateside Madness podcast, the one and only podcast of the official Madness American fan service. I'm Lori, along with my co-host Polly, here to bring you news, reviews, and deep dives into the nutty sound of the British pop band Madness. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Stateside Madness. I'm Lori.
And I'm Polly.
Back from San Francisco. How was it?
So the trip was great. For those of you who don't know, which I'm guessing is probably everybody. Being fed up with rebooking hotel rooms, rebooking flights to try to make the Madness tour after being canceled or postponed twice, I was like, the hell with it. I'm not doing anything. I am keeping the flights. I'm keeping the hotel rooms. I'm going to go everywhere Madness was going to go. So yeah, I was out in Hollywood and San Francisco. You know, we had a nice little Madness get together. I could say it topped out at about 6 folks aside from myself actually showed up. Al Warmerdon being the sort of the main fan there. Yeah, so we had a good time, hung out, drank a bit, gave them away some little Madness, Stateside Madness related swag. And all things were great up to the point where, we were recording in a very loud, very busy bar. And so that would have been too pleasant on you folks trying to differentiate what we were saying. So we took the tactic of calling up Al and calling up another friend to kind of get everything we would have had on tape from the bar, but, made it so you could hear it. So that's the plan for this week's episode.
Awesome. Before we get to our guest, Polly, let's do the communicator.
Let us, yes.
So first up, as most of you know, last Thursday, June 2nd, Madness played the Brockwell Park Jubilation gig, which was in honor of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. The photos have been posted to the official Madness Twitter account, so you want to check it out. I'm still feeling salty though, Polly, because June 2nd, that was supposed to be Boston?
I think it may have been New York, but not that it matters. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a bad relationship, where the other person keeps making promises and then not following through. And yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Come on, baby. Come back for 2022. It'll be better this time. I've changed, I swear.
Yes. So.
And then it's come back for 2023. I've learned. I can't live without you.
Well, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next on the communicator, we received word that the official Madness web store has loads of t-shirts on sale for £10 each. Now, with the conversion rate, at least at the time we're recording this, it might change. That comes to about $12.50 a shirt. Really, really good deal. But of course, you got to pay through the nose for international shipping, so it probably all evens out. But definitely worth checking out. And that's madness-uk.myshopify.com. So you want to check that out before they get all picked over.
And last up on the communicator, a friendly reminder. We've talked about it before, and of course, it's been all over the interwebs, but Madness's very rare U.S. Record Store Day event coming up this June 18th. So what we're looking at is the 12-inch release of Baggy Trousers with the original artwork, but what's contained on it is going to be Baggy Trousers, the 2009 remaster, Le Grand Pantalon, Disappear remastered also on that. And that's just side A. On side B, it contains The Business, That's the Way to Do It, and On the Beat Pete remastered. So that's an exceptional value for you folks out there who want to stand in line on Record Store Day and try to get your copy. Please do so again on June 18th. Consult your local record shop for times.
Let me tell you how I feel. I feel I'm scared.
Chris, what time is it?
Showtime.
All right, Stateside Madness. So we have today a very special guest, friend of mine. He is currently living in Miami, though you might find out he is in fact originates from somewhere else. And he is John Bone Thrippleton, Florida man. Welcome.
Yeah, I was born in Austin, Texas.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not a Florida accent you're hearing there. That's pure Texan.
Yeah.
And is American. Ish.
Hey, I do have a passport. But Black Friday, 2 p.m. I'm all English again. I don't know. Do you guys know what's happening Black Friday, 2 p.m.?
No.
England, USA in a World Cup, mate. We're in the same group.
Oh wow.
So it's going to be Black Friday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So a lot of people are going to be off. I suggest you find yourselves a good pub to watch it in.
Fair enough. You ready, Lori?
I am. Why do they call you Bone? Do I want to know?
Yeah, it's actually not. It's kind of madness related. When I was, I grew up with a lot of freedom, and as even I think I was like 12 when I got my first skinhead, and I just went to barbers, got all my hair shaved off because you went to barbers on your own, and I came home and my brother just went bonehead, and that was it. It just stuck. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, all my mates in England call me Bone. In the States, it's more John. But yeah. So it's been 40 years.
So it's short for bonehead.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. And it does, it kind of suits my intelligence level as well, to be honest with you. So.
How did you first get into madness?
10 years old, top of the pops, like a lot of people. Yeah. And I started buying records probably around that time. I was born in 1969, but my first single was Baggy Trousers. And just like a lot of other people my age, I just loved that energy. I loved the fact that you could just jump up and down. But also from a very early age, listening to them, I don't think they get a lot of credit for making people think. And they definitely, as a kid from a small village in north of England, gave me, even from an early age, it molded a lot of my social views. Yeah, love it. They made me think, even from one step beyond now.
Do you remember what song you saw them perform on Top of the Pops?
It would have been later. It wouldn't have been Prince for me, I don't think. I don't have that good a memory, I'll be honest with you. Up until about 15, I don't remember much. And from 15, I started remembering stuff. But I will have seen Prince, but it was probably one step beyond, because it was, as a 10-year-old, just you just instantly grabbed.
One step beyond.
And then, you know, at that time we were so lucky. We were all two-tone bands, but Madness stood out for me right from day one. They just stood out as my band.
Growing up then as a teenager in Yorkshire, you were not that far away from all the action happening with Madness. And so you had opportunity to both experience them as teenagers do on the radio, on television. When was the first time you actually got a chance to see Madness live?
Mad Not Mad tour.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mad Not Mad tour. Yeah, he's. I wish I could have got to a gig earlier, but I didn't. So yeah, 85 in Leeds, Mad Not Mad tour. Brilliant night, absolutely amazing. Even though Mikey wasn't there, obviously, it still stands out as a favorite gig of mine. And even though they didn't seem to really enjoy it that much, I did. It was fabulous. Yeah, right from starting out, we keep moving. It was fantastic.
Beautiful. And, you know, something I witnessed a bit when we met is, you know, the Madness community, fan community is really huge and really connected. You know, what was your exposure to the greater Madness community in the earlier days?
Not much, I'll be honest with you. And I went to a grammar school where everybody else was into heavy metal, and nobody actually even knew I was a Madness fan until I did my O-level English. I had to write a speech 5 minutes, and I did mine on how Madness started. But yeah, I mean, I you know, I was in the fan club, got the magazines, and then probably my first real exposure to was meeting Paul Rogers at Nutty Boys gigs, so much later on. And then I traveled, as well as living in States for 19 years. I did travel quite a lot when I was younger as well, so I was away for quite a lot of it. So when internet started and everybody started getting together, I'm not really tech savvy, so I wasn't really part of any of that. So I'd say it started for me really getting to know everybody was first time I went to Butlins. Really, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, that is one upside to the internet, is it's allowed all sorts of people to connect for various reasons, but Madness being one of them. And I certainly would have been a bit lost and not involved had I not found all you folks same way. Lori, what do you got for us?
Sorry, we got a message from Andre Klaus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, just now. So he says, my friend and me are in London for the Jubilee Festival, having a few beers in Dublin Castle. So I told him, pour one out for us.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Did you, I know you've been, Polly, did you make it over there, Laurie, yet?
No, I've never been.
Oh, it's a great pub.
Yeah, no, I've never been to England.
Never been over there yet? Yet.
No.
You should, yeah. You got plenty of time, mate.
All right.
So Bone, I know that you have also had opportunity to spend a little time with a couple of the band members. Tell us everything you got on that. One of my favorites was actually, I did go down to Night Fever a couple of times. That show that Suggs did, where it was a karaoke show. It was terrible, but it was a lot of fun to go down there. And this is obviously when Madness weren't big or anything. So, but when after it finished recording, I kind of headed him off, and I'd taken Lone Ranger CD cover down with me, and I asked him to sign it, and he was great. He obviously, but he said, "Have you got a pen on you?" And I said, "No." So I turned around to my friends that had gone down with. Nobody had a pen on them. I'm like, "Suggs, I ain't got a pen." He didn't have a pen, so he took my CD cover off me, and he bit it and gave it me back. And he says, "There you go. That's better than any signature." So I've got the Lone Ranger CD cover with Suggs's teeth print in it. So yeah, that was super cool. And yeah, you won't remember, but I've hung out with Tomo a few times. I actually met Tomo and ended up going backstage in San Francisco last time they were over here.
and that was yeah, that was great. Yeah, we just Tomo was filming everybody coming into the venue in San Francisco, and because they're not that big in America anyway, and then on top of that, people in America remember him as like teenagers and 20s. So Tomo doesn't look like he did, obviously, 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was at that point. And he's actually filming everybody coming in. And me and my wife went over, me and Kazza went over, and we stood talking to Tomo for, honestly, a good half an hour. He just said, "Yeah, come backstage after." So we ended up going backstage, and there's a little speakeasy underneath this venue, and we ended up having a little tour around with them. Then we ended up back at hotel as well, and having a few more, but memory fades because I had been drinking all day that day. So, but yeah, so every time I met them, they are absolute salt of the earth, all of them. But I think they're a band that that have always. I really think they've never had recognition they deserve. I genuinely believe that.
Why do you think that is?
I actually, a lot of it is down to themselves, and it's the way they do portray. They're fun guys, but they're fun family guys, and the serious side of it is always a lot of people don't take the time to listen. They look at me, like I say, going right back to One Step Beyond. They're a band that had me thinking, and even just the style of music. It was ska, it was Jamaican, it was this unity music, which they always had me thinking about things, so especially like socially.
Is there a particular song lyric that really kind of resonates with you in that respect?
Well, it's one of the ones that you're gonna have to be about in my top 5, but yeah, Prospects is just amazing because it's just that one. You meant about the unity thing, didn't you? I mean, that's what Prospects for me is about, and it's about the way that things changed and what the bands, what Madness especially, they were trying to bring it even one step beyond. Made me think about unity just by the sound of it. It's Jamaican music, it's ska music, it's essentially black music, and where I'm from, everybody looks like this because I'm from a small village.
Very good. All right, then, as we are going to do with our super fans, we want your take. You get plenty of our take on the podcast. So, Bone, do you have a top 5 Madness songs list?
I've just gone with me gut right now because obviously, everybody's going to tell you the same thing. It changes constantly, and it does. But I have written down 5 songs that right now make me think, bring a tear to my eye, make me dance, and fall in love with Madness all over again and again and again and again.
All right, so start with then your number 5.
Oh, we're doing them in number order as well. I'm gonna go for one from Cat Touches Now. I think Cat Touches Now is a really good album. I know other people that don't like it. I love it. And I Believe, again, a song that really gets you thinking. I think pretty much all my top 5 are songs that just evoke memories and get you thinking. This was probably the standout first time I heard Cat Touches Now, especially the lyrics about just being in his underpants.
Distance yourself from hate, or else you're going to fall. Come straight to the free spirit, all for one and one for all.
This is me unknowing, just in my pants and vest. And I decide whom in I confide, and you just failed the test. Release your hands from my beliefs. I no longer need your guidance. Roll up.
All right, Bone, how about that number 4 song?
All right, I'm gonna go for a single. Like I said, Baggy Trousers was the first single I ever bought, and the second was Embarrassment. I still love it live. I just think I think it's genius of these young kids. I mean, I know Tomo wrote lyrics, but all of them. I just the tune. I think it's hard to realize sometimes. I know this was a second album, but it's hard to realize that what these guys were doing in the teens and early 20s, and Embarrassment is just that should have got an Ivan Novello as well.
Received the letter just the other day. Don't seem to wanna know you no more. Laid it down, giving you their score. Within the first 2 lines, it's bluntly read. You're not to come see us no more. Keep away from our door. Don't come round here no more. What on earth did you do that for? Our aunt, she don't wanna know. She says, what will the neighbours think? They'll think we don't, that's what they'll think. We don't, but I will, cause I know they think I don't. Our uncle, we don't wanna know. He says, we are disgrace to the human race. He says, how can you show your face when you're a disgrace to the human race?
All right. At number 3, what do you got, Bone?
I'm going to put Prospects in at number 3. This one's about memories, as well as being a brilliant tune and fantastic lyrics, but just Butlins. And I was lucky enough to go 7 times, and I probably made everybody play this repeatedly in those lodges, maybe 7,000 times. So yeah, it's again, I think music is about taking you to a place as well, and Prospects will always take me back to Butlins, and I had some fantastic times at Butlins and met some unbelievable, amazing people, including yourself, Polly. So yeah, Prospects is for sure.
This is it. This is it. Is this my heart? I miss you with all my heart. This is it. Is this not my one shoelace, double suitcase, one passport from the Queen, one room for a light bulb where no one's been.
Well, thanks so much. It was wonderful. And why don't I just tell people, I got there a bit fish out of water, big place, lots of people, didn't know where to go necessarily. And it was so nice of Bone and Ian Mason to kind of take me under their wing, feed me a ton of beer, and kind of showed me the real Butlins experience, and spent a great deal of time with them and had a pant load of fun. So good on them for being so nice to a strange American.
Thank you. You're strange wherever you're from, Polly. Don't worry, you don't have to add American. Just strange.
He's got your number, doesn't he? So yeah, for our listeners who might have missed, because I know we talked about Butlins in another episode, but this is a weekend get together that they have at an old resort, right? It's in November, kind of in the off season, and they call it the House of Fun Weekender.
Yeah.
And Madness performs, and then usually there's other acts that they bring in as well, and it kind of becomes a whole weekend of concerts and partying and mingling with other fans. So for those listeners who might not know what that is, and of course I've never been there either.
There's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope for that. There's hope that there would be another House of Fun.
Oh, are they talking about doing it again at Butlins, or are they talking about doing it somewhere else?
Nobody's really talking about it. At least I've not heard anything official about it, but there's always that hope among the fans of, they fulfilled their contract. They're 10 years. They did what they had to, and now they could do anything, So there's hope that they might just do a one-off or continue to do one at a time whenever they feel they can do it. I've not heard anything from the band, but I think it's us fans speculating.
I was going to say, if we beat those drums loud enough, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of beating drums, we should be beating drums about 2023 tour as well. They put it out there. They didn't have to say it, you can't wave something around like that. It's like Dad saying, "Hey, maybe we'll get up and go get a puppy tomorrow." It's like, you pretty much certain things, once you even speak them, you gotta come through. So yeah. Cool. All right, but we digress. So how about your number 2 song, Boone?
Again, it's another thought provoker, and it's another Tomo, I believe, Blueskin Beast. And I did grow up through some unrest. I did grow up through Falkland Wars, and again they just come out with a cracker that actually gives you a little social insight into what's going on here, and just provokes thinking again. Again, I can't stress enough how much this band have made me just think about things. And Blueskin Beast is right up there, and another cracker.
I can fly you to your loved ones, but I can promise no return to a shell-shocked God-forsaken, where the craters still lay burn. Have a drink on me, have a drink on me. Still the worst is over, that I hope you understand. Then you're one more hurdle over, a protector of the land. Have a drink on me, I put you down to the company. 3 cheers to the Blueskin Beast, hip hip. To the Blueskin Beast, hip hip.
Yeah, and one that would be meaningful to American fans because it was on the Geffen compilation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Rise and Fall originally, and then it was on that Our House one, or Madhouse. Our House, I think that one was called. One with the pool table on the cover. Yeah, it was on there. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a lot of American fans' first exposure to Madness would have been hearing Blueskin Beast on that compilation. All right, so that only leaves us one. It's going to be your favorite. What is it?
My favorite album is Keep Moving. It's still Keep Moving. I mean, I love everything I've ever done, but my favorite album is Keep Moving, and Prospects is not my favorite song on Keep Moving, even though most people that met me probably think it is. But Samantha's my favorite on Keep Moving. Always has been. I love the darker side to Madness as well. It's right from getting Keep Moving. Madness 7 was the first album I bought on release date, but Keep Moving was an album when people started going off Madness as well, and it just made me like him even more. And I went the opposite direction. And Samantha stood out right from first listen, and they played it on a show called The Tube as well, which I believe you can find on YouTube if you haven't already seen it.
One night in a cold sweat, I heard the call. So without fear and free from pride, I walked on as I crept the passage, only just by fame, in and out of the central heating. It came and then went. Samantha, dear, I have to be gone. Samantha, dear, but she's left on.
So let's talk about my theory about Samantha. I think it's about a ghost. What do you think?
I honestly, I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. It is haunting, especially because it's tune as well. And I think it is another Tomo one, isn't it, Samantha? I don't know if I might have done a clean sweep of Tomo here. You've got no idea what's going through that guy's mind.
And you're really picking some songs that maybe casual fans might not even know. So that's great. So you're really kind of digging deep into the catalog. I love it.
Thank you. I did want to pick a single though. I did want to get a single because they're a singles band. At the end of the day, and And I nearly went for Dust Devil. I love Dust Devil. I think it's a fabulous song. It's a great tune, and it's funky, and it gets you dancing. And again, I wanted to really focus on how all my life they've had me thinking about things, and yeah, they really have molded part of my personality. Seriously.
Well, Dust Devil is my song, so I'm never going to miss an opportunity to play Dust Devil, so I'm going to play it right now.
Smiley little whiz kid, yeah, she's streets ahead. On top of the daybreak and the last one to bed. Keeps a gizmo under her pillow. Little dust devil whipping up a storm. Paving the way for dropout, she's equanimous to the norm. But come early evening, well, she's banging off the ceiling, and I say, come down, I'm missing you. If these little fingers could paint you into my picture, I say, come down, I am missing you. If these little fingers could draw you into my picture.
As a Madness fan in America, do you have anything that you want to say to the band?
Come back. Yeah, I seen you one time in San Francisco, and yeah, I like small venues. So when they were coming here, and I had tickets, Laurie, I had tickets for Boston and New York. I had general admission standing tickets because I don't want to sit down. And just, yeah, I prefer small venues. So when they come to States, but yeah.
you like the intimacy of the smaller venues then?
Absolutely, Laurie. Yeah, absolutely. So that would be, for me, my message would be, yeah, come back over. I think, yeah, that's it. Just come back.
That's all we need.
That's the
perfect.
sentiment we
That's
all share.
perfect. That's perfect.
Great to see you, mate. And Laurie, very nice to meet you.
Excellent. Nice to meet you too.
All right.
All right,
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks
And
so
you.
much.
Bye.
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 Well, thanks again to Bone for chatting with us. He's still apparently thinking about the song Samantha, because shortly after he left, he sent me the following message. So, way too late, but here is my take. I think our character may have just broken into a young lady's house and killed her. Almost has a Jekyll and Hyde feel to it for me, especially with the dark tune, too. Wow, now I'm going to have to go back and listen to Samantha again. Thanks again, Bone. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Listeners, please stick around for a couple more minutes. We're going to talk to another guest.
Oi, oi, people. Silky here, Death of Guitar Pop, and you are listening to Stateside Madness, because madness are the bollocks.
All right, Stateside Madness. So one of our guests today, Al, our friend Al Warmerdon, who you may remember from posting videos on Stateside Madness of this sort of DIY karaoke. I caught up with him and some of his family in San Francisco. We had a fantastic time. And he was nice enough to say that he would join us again so we could pretty much recap everything that Al and I had talked about and make sure that it made it onto the episode. So thank you, Al, and Stateside Madness. Welcome, Al Warmerdon.
Thank you very much, Paulie. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, so Al, we sat back, we really threw him back for a while through the evening. And Al's voice, Al's unique storytelling style really adds a lot to talking about madness. So we wanted to make sure we had you back here. And so why don't we get right into it, Al? Tell folks how you kind of got introduced to madness.
Yeah, well, I'm from California. So, I mean, kind of that little mod scene was in the Clash, all that kind of stuff. It was kind of popular here, but I mean, I was kind of guy, like in the early days, I was like a Cure guy, you know, never really heard of ska. But as I was telling Lori earlier, my parents were from the Netherlands. So we went to the Netherlands every year, Holland. And I went to this barn party and I said, oh man, that is some good music. What is that music? It's really upbeat, like a fast reggae, because I've always been a reggae guy. And she goes, oh, that's ska. It's two-tone movement. They're called Madness. It's really good. This is their second album. And so, I mean, I'll never forget it. Baggy Trousers was the first Madness song I ever heard. And I just said, yeah, that is really good. So my cousin took me out. We went to the record shop. Back then, we still had record shops. And he got me the Absolutely album. And I mean, I took that home and I wore it. And it wasn't even a CD. It was a tape. And once in a while, I take a picture of it. I find those tapes back. I post them on Facebook. And I wore that bad boy out. Trust me, I was not the most popular guy at school. I mean, I'd come cranking in some baggy trout. People were like, what the heck is that crap? But I didn't care. I really gravitated to it. And then, you know, I even started, then my parents took us to Holland every year. So, I mean, like I was telling Lori earlier, I mean, I've seen Holland in the Netherlands more than Madness in the Netherlands, more than I've seen them in America. Hell, I want to say I couldn't find a Madness record in America, especially in California. And Madness usually, I've seen Madness 7 times. I've seen them 4 times in California.
Wow.
So, I mean, they do tour, they do come here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen them in Holland 3 times, you know, and European shows way better set lists than they do here. So I used to plan my vacations to see Madness, you know, and then I grew with them. And I tell you, the upbeat stuff, like I was telling Lori earlier, Mad Not Mad is my favorite album. People kind of find that weird, but I think musically, Madness was at their peak. They brought, you know, backup vocalist for Suggs. I thought it was very good. They added an extra horn player. They had an extra bongo guy. And I saw that tour and I said, man, that is really the sound I like. So like my cousin got me tickets to Pink Pop, and it's a big festival in the Netherlands for cancer awareness. In 1981, he got tickets for Madness, and from then on, it was on, man. I saw the Dangerman sessions in Amsterdam, and I saw Pink Pop in 2009. I went back for Pink Pop, and I don't know, man. I listen to Madness every day. My friends give me crap on Facebook every day about it. Cause I mean, I'm not afraid to let people know I'm a Madness guy. So yeah, I mean, that's how it was. I mean, I listen to Madness every day. My wife, you know, they say I'm got to get out of the 80s, but I love the haircuts. I mean, everything about the 80s, I love. I'm still there. I just unfortunately got some good technology now, so we can do crap like this. You couldn't do that. I mean, I met Suggs. I met him in Amsterdam airport. I met Lee, Carl, and Suggs in Amsterdam. Of course, I had no thing. So it was all about, oh God, I didn't have camera. My parents like saying, come on, we got to get to the plane. But then when I saw him at UC Davis in 98, we got to go backstage. A friend of my wife's worked for Blink-182, and Blink-182 was a support act. And so we got met up with her. She said, oh man, your son got like little Madness haircut. I said, oh yeah, he's driving in my car, man. He would love to sing it for him. And next thing you know, they're pulling my wife out and said, hey, we're going to take your son to go meet Madness. She goes, you got to take my husband. He'll kill me if I go. So yes, I sat with an hour and a half and drank beer with Suggs, Carl, and Lee. And couldn't have been better people. I mean, and to my son, gave him shirts. I mean, gave him a fedora. I mean, it was phenomenal. And during the whole concert, I had Brett on my shoulders. And, you know, hey, there's our friend Brett from California. All right, Brett. But I mean, like driving my car is the epitome, I think, of a kid's song. I think they could have done that for any cartoon. I mean, if they could have promoted. I mean, my son, he fell in love with Madness because of driving my car. Like I said, we sent a video to Madness and who knows who saw it, but of driving in my car, and he knew the words, man. I mean, he had the flat top. I mean, it was the cutest thing ever. I mean, my son as a young kid was really a badass little dude, and now he's just big hairy and asked me for $20. But you know how that goes. But still to this day, Brett will still pop in Madness once in a while. He's more of a reggae guy now.
I've been driving in my car. It's not quite a Jaguar. I bought it in Primrose Hill from a bloke from Brazil. It was made in 59 in a factory by the time. It says Morris on the door, the GPO owned it before. I drive in it for my job, the governor calls me a slob, but I don't really care. Give me some gas in the open air.
You were kind of saying earlier when you and I were chatting, Al, that you thought that the set lists when they play in the Netherlands are better than the set lists that they play in the United States. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't work for Madness, but I can tell you, and I've seen him 3 times in America. I saw him the big stadium show when they supported the Police on Day on the Green, and that was pretty much. I think that was like Rise and Fall came out, and of course it was all about Our House and all that. But you know, they'd play Calling Cards. You know, most of the songs no one knew, but then the last 2 times I saw him in America, it's basically that Mad Stock. You know, it's all those same songs every time. Every once in a while, like I'm a big Mad Not Mad guy. So, I mean, I got to see the Mad Not Mad tour. So they played a lot of Mad Not Mad. So I'm glad I got to see that in my life because they rarely play a Mad Not Mad song now. But in Holland, I heard Yesterday's Men. I heard Burning the Boats and never heard that here. So I think they play more of a greatest hits thing here. And I think Europe knows them a little better. So maybe they're playing older songs or maybe more obscure songs, I guess.
More deep album tracks.
I think so. I mean, B-sides.
Yeah.
I heard Jenny, A Portrait Of. I heard that in Holland too. I mean, who in the hell would think you ever hear that live? I know.
That's quite charming. You've got wind chimes going on in back of
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It makes everything you say sound like it's
Sprinkled with fairy dust.
yeah, Disney. That's what I was gonna say. Disney magic going on with it.
I like that. Kind of make ourselves a new single. Yeah, the wind is kind of. I think we're okay now.
So Al, you hinted at it a little bit earlier with your fans giving you shit on Facebook about liking Madness, but this is something we kind of like to ask every American Madness fan. How much time do you spend explaining to people around you who Madness is, or are you able to connect with other people about Madness?
Yeah, I mean, my direct friends and family and everybody, I mean, obviously they know. I mean, even my sister will just go, "Oh God, here he goes with Madness again on Facebook," But I mean, I don't care. And yeah, I mean, like I'll go down the river, and we're big kayakers and everything. And people go, "God, I kind of like that. Who is that?" "Oh, it's Madness." Who's Madness? I don't even. I said, "Our House," and they go, "Oh yeah, yeah." I mean, I'll tell you, if you want a world-renowned hit, Our House was that. I mean, you can ask a 60-year-old about Our House, and you can ask a 20-year-old about Our House, and they know what it is. But I mean, Our House, that wouldn't even be in my top 10 songs from Madness. But no one knows it, Paulie. Nobody. I mean, a little ska revival. I mean, Dave Wakeling lives in LA now, so God, I bet we see the beat 5 times a year. And no matter what, I run into him at the bar. I say, "Hey, dude, how about singing backup with Madness?" He goes, "I wish we could have done that song live, Victoria Gardens." He goes, "That was a really good song." But yeah, I mean, most of the people around here just, yeah, I mean, they just think, "Oh, what is it, a reggae band?" I mean, Madness got a little poppy in the end, I think. Like I was telling Lori earlier, like the 7 album, I think is like the perfect mix with the reggae sound. I really like that, to where I think musically, Mad Not Mad, they were the best. But like I was telling Lori, I didn't think like Shut Up and Cardiac Arrest. I mean, that album's so good. I wouldn't understand why they use those 2 as singles. Because that album is really, they really went more reggae roots, that album, you know. And I think Suggs is a big reggae guy. I mean, you hear, I mean, I got both Suggs solo albums and they're very reggae.
Well, and then that collection that he curated, there was like a 3 CD collection, and that was like almost all like reggae ska stuff,
Really?
wasn't it?
Was it like The Business? No, that was
No, there was one. I'd have to look up the name, but it didn't have any Madness music, but it was like called like the Suggs collection or something, and it was just music that he had curated, and so there wasn't any Madness on it. Using the magic of technology here, I'm going to show you something on the screen here. This is the disc that I was talking about. So hold on a second. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, no, I do not. I thought I had most everything, but I do not have that. But that's his favorite songs, correct?
Well, yeah. It says 60 tracks selected and compiled by Suggs. The Specials, The Who, James Brown, John Lennon, The Temptations, The Jam, Massive Attack, and more. Massive Attack, that's interesting. I'm curious to see what song he put on there. But yeah, that's like music that he's curated. So
Right. Well, I mean, that was funny. Remember I've never seen that. I mean, I remember he was, wasn't he like the producer or something for The Farm? That's an odd choice for Suggs, huh?
But you can kind of hear a little bit of his influence in a lot of their stuff, you know? I mean, like Groovy Train and yeah.
Absolutely. And they talk really high of him. So I guess, I mean, he really tried to put them on the right track. But I remember him saying something, he was too old for that crap.
So you walk down our street, well, you look quite neat. Baggy jeans and long blonde hair, but not a care in the world. What happened to the attitude we used to have at school? What happened to the attitude? Well, you broke all the rules.
So Al, tell everybody, although maybe people could guess, but what's your inspiration for doing your Man Cave Madness karaoke videos?
Well, I always say it's always a Friday night, and it's always when my wife's drunk and goes passed out early. That's when I get my chance to turn the stereo loud and do it. You know, I don't know. I think it's a lot to promote my Madness. You know, I've actually had people say, "Hey, that's a really good song," and I would never have guessed that's Madness. I don't ever do any of the hits. I always do the oddball. I even do the Madness stuff. And I don't know. I think maybe in my first life I would have loved to have been a rock star. Maybe. I mean, I always said that I could sing backup for Suggs. I mean, add that raspy voice to it. I could do some fun. I learned all the words. I mean, rarely I even need a word sheet. I know those words pretty. Like my wife goes, "God, if you can remember half the shit I tell you to do at this house, as good as you know those Madness words, we'd be set." But yeah, I think in my own way, Paulie, is more of a promotion thing for Madness. I mean, I just thought Madness had a lot of good songs, and I got, I don't know, 1,200 followers on Facebook. I thought, if 2 people like that, I'm going to go buy that record. That's a good song. Hey, then I did my thing. And I'll have people come over and just say, "Hey, we're going to hear some Madness tonight." I said, "Absolutely." So like I was telling Lori earlier, I mean, I listen to Madness every day. That is my go-to. I mean, I started yesterday I started the tribute to Andy Fletcher thing. I lasted about 4 songs. And I started getting depressed. I said, I got to put on some good Madness. And my wife goes, "That didn't last long." I said, "God bless Andy Fletcher, but you know what? The Depeche Mode, I can only handle so much."
So Al, did you prepare your a top 5 list of your favorite Madness songs?
Oh, brother, I don't have to prepare that. I know that off the top of my head. It's been the same for 25 years. My number 5, I had to say like my top 5.
Okay.
5 to 1. Number 5 is Baggy Trousers, because it was the first Madness song I ever heard, and it addicted me, and it did it. I mean, in real sense, I could put Baggy Trousers 1, but if I have to have like in order, Baggy Trousers would be 5.
Naughty boys in nasty schools, headmasters breaking all the rules, having fun and playing pool, smashing up the woodwork tools. All the teachers in the pub, passing round a ready rub, trying not to think of when the lunchtime bell will ring again. Oh, what fun we had, but did it really turn out bad? All I learned at school was how to bet not
But then I really love the 7 album because I'm a reggae guy. So that has the best reggae. I mean, the 2 singles I thought were crap, but like Promises, and Pack a Mac. I mean, those are great songs, man. Day on the Town. I still listen to that I listen to Madness every day. I'd say Promises would be number 4. I just love that sound, that little reggae beat.
I'll promise you a gift worth much more if not sold. Half for you and half for me if I may act so bold. I'll promise you a home that money cannot buy. All good homely spirits walking by and by. I'll promise you a world of making of amends, and on our anniversary invite you round the bend. I'll promise you a life, it only takes a tick. All the fruits of life carry you aboard my ship. I'll promise you a world of making of amends, and on the anniversary invite you round the bend. Don't find to me, you're only acting when you care, so I've decided on decisions.
Number 3 is another one that could be number 1 is All Compete. I think All Compete I think there's more into that song, in depth about the breakup of the band. I think if you really listen to the lyrics at that song, and they might tell you it's something else, but I think it's a lot about Barson leaving, and really good. I mean, live, it's really funky, really good. And my favorite, no one will believe it, my favorite album, Mad Not Mad. I think musically, it was the best. I mean, Suggs got some backup vocal. I think Suggsy should have some girl backup singers right now. Last time I saw him, he struggled a little.
Take your business beyond your farthest street. Sounds good, sounds great, sounds really great. But wait, let us hurry now. Time is catching up, and it looks like the musical race has caught me up. But I'll compete, for all that it's worth. I'll compete. The rest of the band, for all that it's worth. I'll compete. For all that it's worth. I'll compete. For all that I'm worth.
Number 2 would be It Must Be Love, because it was my wedding song, which until I became part of these Madness rooms, I thought I was the only guy who ever did It Must Be Love for his wedding. But God, those Englishmen, they all did it for their wedding.
We did too. Don and I did for our wedding. It Must Be Love.
See, well, there's 2 of us at least here, but all the Englishmen did it.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. And I never thought I'd feel this way, the way I feel about you. Soon as I wake up, every night, every day, I know that it's you I need to take the blues away. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
And number 1 is March of the Jerkins, the best song they've ever done. I love it. The horn section, I heard that live too. The horn section it didn't do any, it had no, with lead, just with 1 sax, didn't do it. When they added the horn section to it, March of the Jerkins is literally the most cool song. Go look up a live version of March of the Jerkins. It's very good. They did it like the stage has like a brick wall. It looks like they made it look like a building up from it. It's really good. It wasn't Keep Moving tour. It's probably like 2009 somewhere, but you'll find it if you just put in March of the Jerkins live. Really good. Suggs' voice was good. I mean, it was really good. Overall, I mean, I just think that song is just phenomenal. Never got no credit. I mean, there's only 1 live feed I've ever seen from it, so they don't do it too often.
It's been some time since the smile upon my face had a sneak preview in town. It's been a while since I gave chase. It's been some time since the girl from round my way
streets across the ground. We'll picture the laughing faces. Catch me, I'm falling into my past. Catch me, the deeper the level the love. I was told to grow up soon.
It is really an underrated song. I really love that song too. I know Polly doesn't like it as much, if I remember correctly.
You know, I actually, in fairness to Paulie, after he did that episode on that Death of Guitar Pop, I got 7 songs on my playlist now. They are really good. I mean, even my son's saying, yeah, that reminds me like a toaster sound, you know, like the New York City ska. I mean, the accents are just insane. It's really good.
They're taking playing for Madness's playbook for the first 2 albums and just not even hiding the not even hiding their accent at all. It's on full display. So yeah.
Well, yeah, because didn't I read in some interviews where wasn't Suggs getting a lot? They said that they might have been more popular in America if the accent wasn't so bad, but he just said, well, I mean, that's what it is.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Is it the accent that's the issue, or is it that they're using words that Americans don't understand?
I'm kind of with you. I don't know. I'm thinking of even March of the Jerkins. Most people don't even know what a jerkin is. I mean,
it's a pickle.
I know, but I mean, how many people know that?
But yeah, like some of them, I used to kip on my sofa.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? Madness Ska Daily. They always do Madness lyrics on Facebook or Twitter.
Twitter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those words, and I go, I know that song. I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. And I got, God, what is that word? So I think they stayed Old English. I think it really came out well with Liberty of Norton Foolgate, because that was kind of their whole idea. But I mean, in the early albums, I mean, just read the words to Baggy Trousers. I mean, would any American speak that way?
Exactly. You've heard my rant, right? About how the word trousers just makes me nuts.
No, I'm with you. It's just the weirdest. Even my wife, but I give those guys credit. Every country song about a broken relationship or my house blew down. Madness, man, those guys can do everything from about wearing pants to making love to a lamppost. I mean, Madness is just out there. Wonderful. Another good album that was underrated.
Yes, very much so.
Wonderful. I mean, Johnny the Horse, another one of my songs that would definitely be in my top 10. Yeah. I'm with you on the lyrics. I think Madness was just a hair out there for the American crowd, to where, guys like English Beat, or even Specials, they didn't use that true proper, or like Lori was saying, or probably like that, those weird words that people don't know about. I mean, don't get it wrong. I like the Beat. I even like the Specials. I mean, I wish Terry Hall would smile a bit, but I mean, they never had what Madness had. They never had. I don't think they loved each other. I think they were all contrived. They were all together. One knew how to write a song. One knew how to play a bass. Where Madness actually liked each other, man, and they were good friends, And I think that makes a whole difference. I mean, the Beat always infighting. I mean, I guess Madness did too. I guess, but you never really saw it. And I wish Madness would have just took a break. I mean, you think Carl's ever coming back? I don't think so.
Hard to say. Of course, everybody loves to talk about it. But...
Yeah, I have my own theories about that, which I'm not going to put out in the podcast. I don't want to piss anybody off.
But I mean, and I love Carl. I think Carl's part of Madness. I think it's all good. But I tell you the truth, I think there's a lot of songs that Carl sings that are good songs. I wish they played more. But
absolutely,
I live with or without him, but I'd rather see him with him.
Well, it's great to finally meet you, Al. Hopefully we'll get to meet you one day in person.
Well, I told Paulie when they play San Francisco next time, all my kids are out of the house. You guys are welcome here.
Thanks, Al.
Guys, be good, stay safe, and I'll definitely be seeing you on Facebook and the podcast.
Peace out.
All right. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. Well, this concludes another episode of Stateside Madness. And Polly, you and I have to figure out what we're doing in 2 weeks. We haven't figured that out yet.
That's true. There was a flurry of activity. We've had some really fun episodes lately. And it took a fair amount of work doing that. And then I had my trip. So yeah, we got to get our noses back to the grindstone and really figuring out what we're going to do next. But don't despair. We've got some kernels of some ideas. So we'll come up with something great for you.
Well, and hats off to you, Polly, because really the last 3 episodes, that has all been your initiative. So first, you're the one that arranged the interview with Rhoda Dakar. You arranged the interview with Silky. And now this episode, which is from your trip and arranging the interviews with these 2 fine gentlemen. So thank you very much. You've really, you've made my life a lot easier.
Yeah. And normally I don't do shit. So yeah, you're welcome.
So our closing song today is going to be a cover of Driving in My Car by a band called Rude Boy George. Now, according to their Facebook page, Rude Boy George is a New York City-based band that reimagines 80s new wave classics in ska, reggae, and rocksteady. So it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye for me. Go get a beer, Stateside Madness, with Al Warmerdon or Bone if you can manage.
It's not quite a Jaguar. I bought it in Primrose Hill from a bloke from Brazil. It was made in '59 in a factory by the time. It says Morris on the door. The GPO owned it before. I drive in it for my job. The governor calls me a slob, but I don't really care. Give me some gas in the open air. But it's mine, I mend it in my spare time. Just last week I changed the oil, the rocker valves and the coil. Just last week I changed the oil. Last week it went around the clock. I also had a late on knock. I did somebody spend a year not to Parliament. Ha ha ha.
I guess he does. I don't know, but I know they're not gonna park it there anywhere.
Don't look much, but I've been far. I drive up to Muswell Hill. I've even been to Selcyville. I drove along the M45. I had her up to 58. This copper stopped me the other day. You're mistaken, what could I say? The tires were a little worn, they were okay. I could have sworn I like driving in my car. I'm satisfied I've got this far. But I've been far. I like driving in my car, even with a flat tire. I like driving in my car. It's not quite a Jaguar. I like driving in my car. I'm satisfied I've got this far.